lost a shoe. I've got blood on my face. I don't know where I've been shot.
While Constable Kirk manages to escape, Brow is still hiding on the property and being hunted by the Train brothers. They light a police vehicle on fire to draw her out, but half an hour later, neighbors Alan and Carrie Dare notice the smoke and call emergency services for help.
We're hearing what we're thinking is gunshots, but now we've got like an electrical burning. We're on acreage out in Williambilla.
Do you think it might be 251?
251, yeah, we need a fire, please, now.
I have police at 251.
My husband's going to pick the neighbour up and they're going to investigate closer.
I probably wouldn't. I'd probably just stay at home. I know this might sound bad, but I'm trying to get more information as to, what's going on.
The emergency operator tells Carrie that Alan should stay home, but he and friend Victor Lewis are already on their way.
Ooh. What the hell is in that?
Alan films the scene as they get closer, but as he begins to hear gunshots, he has no idea that the next one will be for him. He's fatally shot in the back as Lewis is able to escape.
To the occupants of 251, this is the police. Nathan, Stacy and Garrett, guys, we need you to stop firing your weapons.
Police swarm the scene, and about an hour later, Constable Brow is able to escape to the front gate.
Nathaniel, Garrett, Stacy, guys, we need you to stop shooting at police.
For the next 4 hours, officers desperately try to...
Style and substance in the GMC Sierra. Work at 0% APR plus 3,100 total value on this Sierra 1500 model.
I'll never forget that call.
Mark Kerr, the Smashing Machine, was the godfather of heavyweight MMA.
He was the greatest fighter on the planet. And in many ways, he was invincible. My own life experiences allowed me to live in Mark's skin and know what it's like, the pressure to perform, destroying your body every single night.
There's really only one person in the world who can do this. I had to say to him, can you bulk up for it? Which is a crazy thing to ask him. But Mark was a big guy. DJ became a different person.
The physical transformation gave me goosebumps, like jaws dropped. To see this person who is never allowed to disappear, completely disappear.
To convince Nathaniel, Gareth, and Stacy to surrender.
I repeat, no, he's still moving. To the female in the building, place your hands up and weapons down.
TI2 is reloading, he's moving up, he's up. TI2 is up.
Take your hands off the weapon.
But around 10:30 p.m., officers breach the property with a Bearcat. And 10 minutes later, all 3 perpetrators are dead. 1 year later, Donald Day Jr., a.k.a. Geronimo's Bones, was arrested in Arizona in connection with the massacre. He's alleged to have sent the killers Christian end-of-days ideological messages. In January 2024, prosecutors also charged him with illegal possession of a firearm and threatening FBI agents. In February of 2023, Queensland Police Deputy Police Commissioner Tracy Linford declared the Train's actions an act of terrorism carried out by extremists for religious motivations. As insane as that was, in our next video, officers perform a welfare check, only for it to go terribly wrong. In the early morning hours of May 11th, 2023, in Borgate, Ontario, a resident calls 911 to report that they heard a gunshot next door, and they fear that their 39-year-old neighbor, Alan Bellafui, may have life. Officers approach the house and begin to search the perimeter.
The ball. I discovered the front door. We're just going to do a perimeter check first.
Officers attempt to make contact with Allen, but crucially fail to identify themselves as police. And despite knocking multiple times, they receive no answer. Officers go back to the front of the house, only to find that the front door is unlocked. But when Constable Lazan and Sergeant Mueller enter and finally identify themselves, Allen fires 9 semi-automatic rifle rounds blindly through the walls of his bedroom. Constable Lazan's been hit non-fatally, his bulletproof vest still smoking, but Sergeant Mueller's injuries are much more severe. As Lazan returns fire, the muzzle of Allen's rifle can be seen sticking out of his bedroom door. But while Lazan is able to retreat, Allen isn't finished with the dying sergeant.
I never broke into my house. Sorry about that.
Injured constables Lazan and Gamal Chasselin take cover behind a vehicle. He puts his weapon down a short time later and allows paramedics into his home, but it's far too late for Sergeant Mueller, who dies a short time later. Allen is arrested and charged with murder and attempted murder. He pleaded not guilty and is currently on trial. Some officers are taken by surprise by suspects with guns, but in our last video, an officer stops a car for speeding, only to find himself in a life-or-death shootout. In the early morning hours of January 3rd, 2015, in Albuquerque, New Mexico, Officer Lou Golson pulls over 36-year-old Christopher Cook for speeding. But as soon as he approaches the driver's side window, all hell breaks loose.
Turn it off.
38, baby.
Christopher pulls a gun and fires 5 rounds, 4 of which slam into Officer Golson's stomach and leg. He falls backwards, breaking his right wrist as he unloads his weapon onto the SUV. But the suspect escapes on foot, and with one hand now useless, he's unable to reload.
WMA, blue jacket, running northbound San Mateo with a blue hat, blue jeans.
Officer Golson calls in a description of the suspect and waits for backup to arrive. As the shock wears off, he begins to feel the pain.
Stomach, leg. He's gone. You see any blood? Here?
Christopher Cook was arrested a short time later.
I didn't call you.
Guilty to car theft, shooting from a vehicle, and aggravated battery on a peace officer. He was sentenced to 17 years in prison. After 3 weeks in the hospital and 2 surgeries, Officer Golson made
That
a
nigga got
full
sold the
recovery.
fuck up.
This case was
That nigga got, man. Did y'all hear the motherfucking charges? This nigga got 17 years for that shit. Man, hold on. Hold the fuck up.
pain.
Stomach, leg. He's gone. You see any blood? Here?
Christopher Cook was arrested a short time later and pled guilty to car theft, shooting from a vehicle, and aggravated battery on a peace officer.
Bro, I don't wish jail on nobody, bro.
Weeks in the hospital and 2 surgeries.
But that nigga just came off like
and pled guilty to car theft, shooting from a vehicle, and aggravated battery on
for attempt. And he was in a UU. That nigga scored.
A peace officer. He was sentenced to 17 years in prison. After 3 weeks in the hospital and 2 surgeries, Officer Golson made a full recovery. This case was brutal, but what about when they're caught off guard by an oncoming train? On January 7th, 2020, in Cedartown, Georgia, Polk County officer Andy Anderson is chasing a robbery suspect through a wooded area near train tracks. But the dedicated cop is so focused on the mission that he fails to realize how close to the tracks he really is.
Who was that? What? What they taking the trash out? Come here.
Get Rob working out towards Piedmont at the railroad tracks.
His dumb ass. Holy shit. His dumb ass.
Officer Anderson is struck by the train, causing his body-worn camera to be knocked loose. He suffered a concussion and broke multiple bones, but was able to make a full recovery. 18-year-old Jaden Motes, who had run to a getaway vehicle and escaped, was apprehended by police less than a week later.
Stop semi-auto.
The Chevy Equinox is more than an SUV. It's your
Bro,
chance to
move.
get back and your safety check.
Whoa.
All at an incredible value. It's more than an SUV.
Move.
It's your Equinox. Chevrolet. Together, let's.
Alright, that was the end of that jump. That jump was cool. I ain't gonna hold you. That nigga was busting that switch off in that last video. That's the part 1 of this jump right here. I'm about to go ahead and probably try to find a different jump to watch real quick. Now I'm about to take my son in the house, matter of fact. Fuck, I forgot. Yeah, I'm about to take that nigga home. And then yeah, I'm about to come watch something else. Play 2K. Yeah.